There it goes. Last shot taken. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope everyone's doing well and out shooting as often as possible. Recently I had a friend come and see me from the mainland, and we spent a whole day together, and he brought over with him this Horizon compact panoramic camera for me to try out. It's a Russian camera and I'm really excited to try this out. Now, I've had this for a couple of weeks and I haven't wanted to go out and shoot it at all. I wanted to do it on the channel and so you guys can see my very first results without any practice. And I did ask people on Patreon and also YouTube as well what you guys thought I should shoot with this camera for the very first time, and I've got some really interesting creative comments back. I'll show you some of those. I've picked a few out and we'll do that today. Loading the camera can be a little bit tricky. Some people do it wrong and get the wrong results, and so I've studied it how to load the camera, and I'll show you that in this video. So if you've got one of these and you're getting bad results from it, maybe blurry edges or whatever, there is a particular way that you've got to load the film. It's a Russian camera. You can see some Russian writing there. I ain't got a clue what that says. It's 120 degrees and you'll end up getting 20 or so photographs from a roll of 36 exposures. So I packed up and I headed off to the local shops to try the camera out. I didn't think it was bright enough for a 100 speed film. In sunlight at 160 and f8 that would be perfect. So I decided to load the camera with a roll of Kodak TRI-X 400, and if the light stays as it is, I'll be able to add a bit more development time to give the film a bit more punch. In dull conditions like this, I find it useful to find subjects with whites or highlights just to add a bit more contrast into the photos. I knew it had been raining, so puddles were definitely going to be an option, and I found myself half the time not even looking through the viewfinder for any of my low down photos, and even when I did look through the viewfinder I wasn't quite sure if what I was seeing is what I was getting. As long as I kept my subject at least 2 meters away, I should get good focus. Can I take a picture?
Oh.
I'll take a photo.
All right.
Special camera. It's meant to be very wide.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you. To be honest, I had no plan, so I decided to shoot away and see what I got, which made sense. If I did have a plan and it all went wrong, I'd probably have been a bit disappointed. At least this way I could experience the camera, experiment with it and see what pictures I got. It looks Holgerish, but I can tell you now the plastics are a lot more quality fill than a Holger is, and that's about it. And it's got one aperture which is f8. I can show you the lens as we pull this exposure. You can see the lens underneath. There it is there. There's the lens. If we press the fire button, you can see it slowly takes a panorama of whatever your subject is. The Horizon compact camera, rotating lens camera which achieve effective field angles of 120 degrees horizontally and 45 degrees vertically. The shutter speed 1/60th. Oh, and half a second. Half a second? There's nothing to put this on a tripod. So I'm not sure if I was to hand hold this camera and take my shots. And if I wobble, of course I'm going to get blurry images. And meet Luna the Shih Tzu. Look how pretty she looks. I wonder if she wants to date our George, the one-eyed pirate Shih Tzu. I've got to get a photograph of your little dog. Hello, girl. Luna. See if I can get you in here, Luna. Got to stay still. Oh, I didn't cut the shutter. I think I got you. Thank you.
That's all right.
So there's one thing I keep forgetting to do with this camera is as I'm taking my shots, I keep forgetting to advance it and it just clicks. So, but that's okay. It just means, I think that click just means it sets the counter window forward one frame. So I just have to advance it and take the same shot, but I don't think it's any biggie. I think it's something that's common though, maybe, or just me. Moving car. A few snaps around the shops and then I jumped back in the car and I went off to the train station, and lucky me, a train was coming in very soon. But before that, I'd noticed that there was a bus parking up, and as it was mentioned on one of the posts on YouTube, I crossed the road and waited for it to come back out. So that bus, I just panned slightly with it, so we'll see how that comes out. So when you load this camera, you've got to do it correctly. Some people do it wrong, and the film has basically got to sit flush against this film plane here, this curvature. It's got to sit flush on it, otherwise you'll get blurred edges and all sorts of weird stuff going on. Then the way you load the film is you've got to put it underneath this roller here, right underneath this one, and then feed it through the other side. And when it's through the other side, you've got to then feed it right underneath these cogs as well, and then it comes up, and then you've got to tuck it in there into the little lip on the take-up spool and then start advancing. So that's how it gets loaded, and then just help it on its way, make sure it's turning, and there it goes. So that's now, the film is now nice and tight on that film plane. There's no kink in it whatsoever. It's gone underneath the first roller, over the top, underneath this roller, all the way through onto the take-up spool. And if I advance, there you go, frame number 1. And then that says I'm on number 2. So if I advance to this next frame, as soon as I click the button, the shutter button, it goes straight onto the next frame. 3, 4, and then so on. I'm not sure how it will come out. I know one of the shots Ian asked me to do was on a corner of a building. There's not too much interesting corners around here, but I'll try and get this one in. You can see straight away it's very wide when I'm looking through here. I'll show you this picture now when I take it. A few minutes then. A few minutes. Can I get a picture with the train driver? Is that alright?
It's up to him, that's not me.
Got ya, I think. Thank you. So I'm not sure how many shots I've got left. It says I'm on to 20 at the dial there, but I don't know, we'll just keep going. As long as I've got one more through this train when it comes. You can see the train there waiting to come through. I'm worried about doing long exposures. I've got a 400 speed film inside the camera, so half a second exposure at f8, it's going to be overexposed in this lighting conditions. So I'm not going to waste my time doing them exposures. There's no reason to. Now, when I get this shot of the train going off that way, do I want to get all this in the shot? I think I will. I'll get some of this in the shot. If I look through the viewfinder, yeah, it might look a bit interesting. Otherwise, all I've got over there is cars and more bush and doesn't look that great. So maybe this might work, getting this in the shot. And I'll wait for the back of it, I think. We'll soon see. Just spin round now, get in position. There it goes. Last shot taken. Off we go. Take one of the train tracks down there. So I've kind of got a composition, hopefully, of it coming from the top left down to the bottom right, diagonally. This is good fun. I'm going to try a long exposure here. We'll put it onto half a second exposure, and we'll try it. You can see how wide it might be. Let's see what happens. It's a shame it hasn't got a... Oh, I've just pressed the button. Done. And that's it. That was the last shot. I've finally finished the film and headed off back home to develop it. Now, most of you know I'm playing at the moment with Burst Speed Developer, and so I developed the film one part to one part, and because I had my doubt on the flat overcast look of the scenes, I decided to add a bit more development time just to boost the highlights. I do love contrast in my photographs, as many of you know. Black and white I like, not grey. You may notice I often chase highlights whenever I'm out shooting, and on dull flat days I often will push my film to compress the tones and pop the highlights, and have negatives that look more dense than flat. And then I went back out with the camera and I went down a farm. So with the computer in front of me, I got the images, and I'll tell you my favourite ones and my least favourite ones, and what I like and don't like about this panoramic view. First of all, I can see it's, you know, if you're on a project, I think I said it earlier on in the video, if you're doing a project like I am at the moment, I've got a couple of projects on the go, I think throwing a camera like this and this sort of perspective into the mix can break things up a little bit. So I think that's good in one respect. Could I shoot this camera all the time? I know a lot of people rave about the actor Jeff Bridges uses one of these or similar camera. I can't remember the name of it, but and he's quite well known for it. And I think he's done some books on, and you know, again, if you've got one of these cameras and that's all you shoot, I can imagine over time you'd come out with some fantastic images, really interesting stuff. But some of these images, this one here in particular at the railway station, you've got the train buffer there at the end of the line, and just the way that it's composed, you've got those leading lines going off on the tracks, and you've got that big buffer right in the foreground on the left hand side, and it gives a bit of impact in the photograph. You know, and the black and whites, they just really punch in there. So for me, that's a winner out of the whole roll that I shot. And of course, at the time, I didn't know this. I'm literally experimenting with the camera and trying different things and coming back, looking at the negatives and deciding, you know, where I'm going to go with it in the future. If I want to get one of these, I've got to give it back to Ian at some point. But if I want to get one, you know, what would I do with it? What sort of stuff would I shoot with it? Now, when you're shooting portrait, I don't know, I couldn't get my head around that. The first photograph there on the left-hand side, I quite like that one, nice and low down. The one of the dog is okay, but then I've realised that things are starting to curve. The buildings, you can see the bin there curving, and you can see the building curving as well, which I don't particularly like. So again, it's just a case of getting used to and knowing what shots to take or what compositions to take or subjects where it's not going to do that. But not only that, it comes down to framing as well. You know, if you was to print one of these, how would you frame it? They're very sort of long and slim. So I would imagine framing something like this, where you have a long sort of panoramic frame, and it sits vertically on the wall. And I should imagine that if you had three nice shots together, it would look quite nice as a set of art for your home or office or wherever. And again, the railway shot. I took a shot of the railway. And you can see the railway, it's sort of arcing around like this, sort of snaking. So that was interesting to see. I thought that would have come out okay, but I've got a little bit of swerve going on there. And these sort of shots, they don't really do nothing for me. Really, I should have got a lot closer to that bus stop, so it really, you know, makes a big impact in the photograph. This does nothing for me. Everything's just sort of, it's not making an impact in the photograph whatsoever. Had I been much closer to that bus, then it might have made more impact. And then the train driver, there was so much information in that one frame But I thought it worked really well. I could never get that on an all 28mm lens, you know. I'll leave you with those photographs, guys. Let us know in the comments if any of you have got this camera. What do you think of it? Is any of you thinking about buying one maybe? I'd be interested to know. And thanks very much for watching. I hope you found it interesting. And yeah, the Horizon, I think it's Lomography. Let's have a look. It's got lomography.com on the bottom of it. So I'd say the Horizon Lomography Russian compact panoramic camera. Good fun.